Hi, I'm Serena Simmons and welcome to 8 Model Psychology. Today, we're ripping off a plaster. We're going to talk about money. Moolah. Cha-ching. Bling. Money, money, money. Must be funny. In a rich man's world. Now, why is money a part of 8 Model Psychology, you might ask? After all, isn't the model about helping people make changes? Looking at their psychology and their evolution? Well, yes it is, but in my opinion, you cannot make changes in someone's life or look at helping them to evolve and be happier and feel more successful without directly focusing on money at some stage. A lot of the people that I work with are business people or entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs or even people that want to leave their jobs. So when you're dealing with people in this area of business and entrepreneurship or helping people leave a job to go and do something where they feel like they're fulfilling a passion, you have to look at money as part of that change. Now, I'm not saying that money is everything. It's certainly not the be all and end all if you're thinking about doing something different for a career or you're looking at setting up a business, because ultimately you want to do something that feels fulfilling and makes you happy. But we would be completely naive if we didn't look at your income as a part of that strategy. So we look at money throughout the model, so it can come up anywhere, particularly when you're looking at things like a vision for your life or goal setting. But I particularly raise the theme of money in the emotions module, which is in the perform section of the model. Now, why is it in the emotions section, you might ask, which is a good question. I have yet to work with anyone where when we've looked at their money issues or how they relate to money, that they haven't had some kind of emotional reaction to that. Think about it for a moment and think about just what money is. Money is an enabler. It allows you to live a particular lifestyle, and that can often be reflected in things like the kind of house we live in, the kind of car we drive, the kind of clothes you wear, and even the social groups that you hang around in. So where does money enable you to function and hang out? It even impacts on the holidays that you might take or not be able to take. All of these things create an emotional reaction, and that's because it's reflected in potentially who you feel you are or who you feel you want to be. And we don't need to look any further than looking at the issues that are created with this. For example, if you don't feel that you're living the life that you want to and you're not happy with the things like the house you're living in and the car you're driving, you may well get into debt. Here in the UK, for example, household debt has increased 7% in the last 5 years. And some of the biggest culprit for this are things like unsecured credit, so things like credit cards, mortgages, student debt, car finance, and being in arrears, so things like not paying your council tax. We also see that there's a really big problem with things like payday loans. So, for example, we know that here in the UK, based on the current statistics that we have, that people are, on average, aside from mortgages, in around £8,000 of debt. But there are so many people who are in more debt, and that's because essentially they're living beyond their means. They want to maintain a particular lifestyle and they want to do the things that money allows them to do when they haven't actually earned it or actually raise that money on their own. What's really key here when you look at the landscape and you look at how we relate to money is this very key feature, and that is that we make money mean something about who we are. Now, it's going to be really powerful for you if you can figure out some of this stuff, so figure out the meaning, and essentially, because it's my area and it's what we do here at APE, to dig down deep and look at the underlying psychology of what's going on. So what I'd like to do is just to introduce a really simple exercise that you can do just to start to dig deep on what your money story is. Now, all this exercise consists of is for you to just to sit with some time and a piece of paper and a pen, or do this on your laptop. And what I'd like you to do is just to write out your money story. Now, what I mean by that is to go back in time and look at when you were a child and to start to write down your first memories of money. As part of that story, I really encourage you to think about your mum and your dad individually, or your primary caregivers, whoever they were, and write down what their relationship with money was like. What do you remember about money as you were growing up? Did you feel poor or did you feel well off? Did you feel like you needed to hide the fact that you didn't have any money, or maybe you had lots of it and the opposite was true for you? Likewise, then build up to things like your first job. How did you feel when you got that first paycheck? And continue that story into adulthood right up to present day. Now, I really encourage you to write as much detail as you possibly can so that when you look back on it, it's literally your money story. It's your money history. Now, this in itself is a really powerful exercise because what this should enable you to do is, first of all, just to get clarity on what you think your story is. But this should definitely highlight some of the blocks that you might have, the ways that you procrastinate around money, things like how worthy you feel of earning money. And like I said, what you think money means to you. I've used this exercise with so many clients and it's a really powerful way, like I said, of unblocking any blocks you think that you've had and just to get that clarity on what money means to you. And that will really enable you to get that clarity and move forward. We've just started the money conversation here today. I know it's a big one, but we will continue this again very soon. In the meantime, I hope you like what you've seen today. And don't forget, if you like what you've seen, please click on the link to subscribe. And that way you get this in your inbox every single week. Bye.